Carnage on the streets of Idlib. This man is the only survivor of an airstrike launched just moments earlier. At least 5 people were killed. It seems there's nowhere for Syrians to hide. They're in constant fear of the threat from above. Civilians not only face attacks from the regime, but also from its ally, Russia. According to Human Rights Watch, these deaths aren't accidental. The organization says civilians are being targeted and that these attacks are war crimes.
What we found is that this is just a very deliberate strategy of the Syrian-Russian military alliance. This war crime strategy is designed to drive out the civilians, to make civilian life unlivable, in the hope that it then will be easier for Russian and Syrian armed forces to recapture the territory.
In a report published earlier this month, Human Rights Watch examines 46 strikes in Idlib between April 2019 and March this year. It cites repeated attacks on civilian infrastructure, from schools to hospitals. The report says they represent only a fraction of the military campaign in Idlib. Idlib is the only province of Syria held by the armed opposition. It fell to the rebels in 2015. The opposition once controlled large parts of the country, but since Russia intervened 5 years ago, and with the help of Iranian militants, the Syrian regime has recaptured most of the territory. Syria's Bashar al Assad has sworn to retake every region, including Idlib, which his soldiers have surrounded. At the start of the year, Syrian and Russian forces launched an offensive to recapture the province. At least 1 million people inside Idlib fled to the border with Turkey, leading to a humanitarian crisis.
We were sleeping when all of a sudden a Russian jet targeted us. I could hear my husband groaning under the wreckage. I couldn't hear the voices of my 2 daughters, my sister-in-law and her daughter, my father-in-law and mother-in-law. I knew they were dead.
Syria and Russia say the operation in Idlib is in response to multiple attacks by the opposition. They deny committing any war crimes. Idlib was subject to a ceasefire agreed between Turkey and Russia in 2017. But that's been repeatedly violated. The regime is slowly recapturing more territory in Idlib. It's not the first time Russian and Syrian forces have been accused of war crimes. But will anyone be held to account? Hyder Abbasi, Straight Talk.